2020 didn't change the world, it changed me. And it changed how I see this country, America, forever. Before 2020, I thought things were stable, predictable, but I was wrong. I used to view America as the land of opportunity, the most unified systems that made sense, but then everything unraveled when 2020 happened. Lockdowns, panic, division, no clear answers, no clear direction. And it really just woke me up in a way to see that we really are not the land of the free. And don't get me wrong, I love America. I'm not one of those people that hate on America and that I think America's trash. But it really just woke me up to see that we're not the powerhouse that we are presented. And growing up, I couldn't even think about living anywhere else. America was the freest country. It was the smartest country. We have freedom. There's no control. But I was wrong, and 2020 pointed all of that out, because that's essentially what it is. It's the illusion of control is what we have in America. And that was, I think, one of the biggest things that I noticed during the whole 2020 year. It really just shifted the way I viewed things. The lockdowns and the restriction rules, because there was plenty of other countries like Sweden, for example, they did whatever they wanted. There was no restrictions, there was no lockdown, and they were fine. Even in America, the one state that was really kind of pioneering was Florida. I don't live in Florida, I live in New Jersey, so I don't know exactly the exact regulations and restrictions they had, but they seemed to be the most freest state during this time. And not to mention, the divide got real. 2020 didn't just reveal a virus, it also exposed how divided we truly were. And the fact that we're just able to just blindly follow whatever the media tells us. And then it's you see all this stuff now that, the vaccines are this, or they're not this, and they're not effective here, and that, there could be side effects and long-lasting problems from the virus, and, the masks didn't work, and, the 6 feet apart didn't mean anything. It was all garbage. It was all just garbage. The media turned people against each other because that's what they do best. That's what they do with anything. That's also what they do with race baiting. The whole race wars and everything. The media controls and drives all these narratives, and people, they can't think for themselves. That was another huge thing that I realized, is that people cannot think for themselves. The fact that 2020 happened the way it did is just insane to me, because if you told people in 2019, if you described the lockdowns, the masks, all the restrictions that we had, they would have thought you're crazy. But what the media does is they soften your mind to things. So the media will just constantly keep pumping COVID, keep pumping it, the vaccine, the virus, all this stuff, because the virus is still alive today. They just don't pump it like they did in 2020. And they just create such a strong sense of fear in people. And they use, the grandmas, the grandpas as, you got to take the vaccine because grandma and grandpa will die if you don't. But in reality, the virus had a 99% survival rate, okay? So, and again, if you want to take the vaccine, cool. If you wanted to wear a mask, cool. But the fact that people were trying to force their opinions and force people to inject themselves with vaccines that have not been thoroughly tested at all. They just threw them together in a lab and it's here, guys, pay, let's pay millions, probably even billions these big pharma companies made off this garbage. And the masks, and you can't leave your house for 3 months. That's garbage. Again, people are again, America, in my head, I thought, yeah, you're allowed to make your own decisions. You're allowed to make your own choices. So yeah, if you wanted to wear a mask, if you wanted to get a vaccine, if you wanted to hide in your house, yeah, you could do that. But apparently, no, it was a mandate that you had to do these things. And it's crazy. And not to mention, you talk about media, but there's also friends and family started arguing over policies, masks, race, vaccines, because even the race thing was a part of 2022. And it was so easy for the media to drive these narratives because everyone was stuck in their house and had nothing else better to do. People just stopped listening and thinking and just started attacking. And that also leads to, for me, a loss of trust. I started to question everything. The media, politicians, even what freedom really means. I've never been into politics. I know this comes across as probably like a political type video. I'm really not. Like, I've never voted before. I really don't follow politics crazy or anything like that because I just think it's all garbage, and I think that it's really the rich versus poor, and behind closed doors, all the politicians are friends, and they're all against us, the average American people. So they don't really want what's best for us. They just want what's best for their party and what makes them the most money and what's best for their investors. That's pretty much how I view politics and how I see it. So I think it's just garbage. And it's just a lot of mixed messaging, the censorship, the fear campaigns, and like I said earlier, it's just so easy how public opinions can be manipulated, and a lot of people, to me, I viewed it as America, times got tough, and instead of facing our problems head on, we ran and hid from our problems. And to me, you see, there's always a cause and effect to things. And I don't see a lot of people talk about this, but for me, I feel like, I was 20 years old during 2020. But I think a lot of the people that are going to suffer a lot is the kids that had to do virtual school online for, a year, 2 years? I don't even know how long that went on for. But yeah, because at a young age, you're very impressionable. And to me, it was taught to them how they view it because there's a cause and effect, right? And the effect was that now that's how they view problems. Oh, they have a problem. We have to run and hide. We're just going to hide inside and, hide from it, instead of facing their problems head on. That's how they're going to take it as that. That's what the message was sent to them. And, also too, vaccines. Oh, well, if I'm feeling depressed, maybe I can just take some medicine, aka vaccine, aka antidepressant. So again, I don't think the message it was not a very good message sent to the youth of America as well, because to me, it was a lot of conditioning for the younger generation that are coming up in this world. So it's just, I don't know, man. And it's just, there's just a lot of just garbage to me, and people just now, they just forget about it. They don't, no one talks about it. No one acts like it really happened, that we were really had that much restrictions, that we were really just controlled, and we were just, and it was just yeah, whatever. And people think it's not going to happen again, yet it will happen again. So we have to be thoroughly prepared for this again, and to understand that you can't just blindly believe what the media and the mainstream media says to you and tries to purport, because there's always a reason why they're doing these things, and it's garbage. And yeah, like I said, my view is completely different on America, and it'll always be. But the good that came from this all, 2020 did wake me up, if you want to call it that, and I believe I'm better because of it. I start questioning more. I question everything, thinking for myself, right? Not just blindly following the sheep, the herd. If people didn't get that from this, that you can't think from yourself, then you're never going to be able to get out of that mindset, because 2020 was, to me, it was so obvious on what they were doing, and it was so obvious that it highlighted the importance of thinking for yourself and questioning everything that's said. I focus more on just family, my circle, and just overall my purpose in life, just because you never know what's going to happen, in terms of what crazy restriction, what crazy propaganda they're going to push next on us. A lot of control, that's really what they love to do. So, I just realized that America isn't what it pretended to be. It's what we make it. You know, because let's be real, like the politicians, the rules, the regulations, the lockdown, that really doesn't make what America is. It's what the people do. If everyone stood up and said, this is garbage, we're not doing that, I would have looked at America differently. But no, America folded, they curled up in their little balls, and they're like, yes, we have to do what you say, because apparently they know more than us. They're so smart. And, yeah, it was just really sad to see. But, yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about in this video. If 2020 woke you up too, you're not alone. You know, if you feel like you're weird, or that, you know, I'm sure everyone's like thinks you're crazy because you question everything, and you know, you think for yourself, but you're not alone. This country may not be what we thought it was, but that just means we have to have work to do, because again, I'm not one of those people that think, oh, America should be burned down. And I love America. I was born and raised there. So I'm not one of those people that hate America at all. I'm not anti-American at all. Just, you know, I want it to do better, and I just don't want to ever see this again. But the way it's going, people still haven't realized it. So it's going to be tough, but please leave your comments down below. How did 2020 change the way you see America? I think it changed everyone's view in one way or another. Definitely 2020 was a crazy year for everyone. So please let me know how it changed your mindset. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.